Namaste and welcome to you all in my second class. And in my previous class, I talked about the specification grade of the secondary level English curriculum, grade 9 and 10. I hope that you got some points. And from today, we are going to start the first lesson. Okay, uh, the first lesson, unit 1, lesson 1, and our topic today is the wind and the leaves. The wind and the leaves. It is a poem, right? It is a poem written by George Cooper. The wind and the leaves is the poem composed by an American poet and lyricist George Cooper. Okay, let's start. Before starting the poem, uh, let's talk something about the poet who composed this poem. George Cooper, I said, George Cooper, an American poet and lyricist, composed this poem. Right? Now we are going to talk about the poet. Okay, everyone, look at the board. You can see some points about the poet. Okay, the first sentence says George Cooper 1840. 1840 means he was born in 1840 and 1927. It means he died in 1927. Was an American poet. And the second point says that the best remember for lyrics. Best remember for lyrics means George Cooper, he is a poet as well as a lyricist, and he is best remembered mostly for his lyrics, and also wrote songs for various composers. His songs are as popular as his lyrics and poems, right? And the next point is, since his childhood, since the beginning of his life, he loved to write about nature. It means he is a naturalist. He is the content of his poems, the content of his writing that are about nature. So he is a naturalist, right? And before he was 16 years old, he had begun to write several magazines. He was rather extraordinary person. 16 years means teenagers like you. Right? Since this age, he started uh, he started writing for the newspapers, magazines, right? And his poems for children, mostly his poems for children were published in the collection called The School and Home Melodies. The School and Home Melodies. That is the collection of his poems, right? And his rhymes were published in the collection entitled The Chaplet. Uh, so these are the points, some points. Children, generally you are not asked about the poet in the examination. Although it is not much important from the examination point of view, at least if we have some knowledge about the point, it will be good for us, and it will help us to understand the poem as well. So what points did we get from these? From this, one, George Cooper is the composer of this poem, and George Cooper especially write about nature, okay, and third point, he began writing from his childhood. When he was 16 or 17 years old, he was a teenager, and finally uh, his writings are about the nature, the subject matter, the content of the his writing, right? And the final point says that his works, right, poetries that are collected in the chaplet as well as school and home melodies, right? Okay, now let's move to the poem, The Wind and the Leaves. Okay, before starting the uh, poem, let's watch this short video, everyone. Pay attention over here.
Autumn is here. Take a look outside. Have you noticed that the air is getting cooler? That the leaves are changing color? And that it's getting darker earlier? That's because autumn is here. In most of North America, we have 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Fall is also called autumn, and autumn can bring big changes. In autumn, the temperature outside gets cooler. We trade in our shorts and sandals for clothing that will keep us warmer, like jackets, hats, and scarves. The cool autumn weather is a perfect time to go to a pumpkin patch. Autumn is the only time of year that pumpkins are ripe and ready to pick. Autumn is also the season when the leaves on many trees change from green to bright yellows, oranges, or reds. Leaves that change color are usually broad and flat. Why do these leaves change colors? In the spring and summer, the weather is warm and the sun is bright. Leaves make lots of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is green. Leaves have other colors inside, but the green chlorophyll blocks out the other colors, so we don't see them. In autumn, leaves stop making chlorophyll. Then, the other beautiful colors inside the leaves show through. Soon, the leaves turn brown and fall off. Then in winter, the tree's branches are bare. But not all leaves change colors. Evergreen leaves are always green. Evergreen trees often have needle-shaped leaves like these or these. And no matter what the season is, evergreen leaves are always green. Autumn is a season when animals are very busy. Food is easy to find, so animals, like squirrels, are busy gathering mushrooms, seeds, and nuts. When winter comes, everything will be covered in snow. Food will be hard to find. But squirrels won't have a problem. They hide a lot of food in autumn and will know exactly where to find it. Autumn comes around every year, and you'll know when it's here. All you have to do is look for the busy squirrels, the colorful leaves, and funny pumpkins. Hello, Autumn.
Watched the video, and the video is about the autumn season, right? The autumn season is also called the fall. You see there the falling of the leaves, right? And you also know the names of different seasons, and how what is the effect, of the wind, you easily could notice there. So now let's talk about the poem itself. Okay, let's talk about the poem itself. The poem Wind and the Leaves is a lyric and a melodious poem. What did I say? Did you notice? The poem Wind and the Leaves, this is the topic title of the poem, is a lyric and melodious poem, right? And it is about natural interplay between the autumn leaves and the winds. See, it is the main theme of the poem too. It is important to remember for you. What did I say? The poem is a natural interplay. The poem is a natural interplay between autumn leaves and the winds. This is the basic theme of the poem, right? And it talks about how the leaves fall from the trees and when the wind blows. The poet talks how the leaves fall. What is the effect of the wind in the winter leaves? Okay, and in other words, the poem represents a very common natural happening in different season of the year. What do I mean to say? What do I mean to say is the poem represents a very common natural phenomenon. What is the natural phenomenon? The change of the seasons, right? The fall of the leaves, the change in nature. It is the natural process, and the poem is about the same natural process, the same natural happenings. In especially this focuses in the happenings of the autumn season, right? And the underlying meaning, although the poem talks about the natural happenings, the natural process of falling leaves due to the forceful wind, right? Due to the forceful wind, there is some underlying meaning of the poem, right? That is, which supports an idea that the change is inevitable, right? It is the natural process that coming out of the new birds in spring season, right? And greenery in some seasons, the fall of the leaves and snowing in the winter season. These are the natural process. But there is something important that we must understand. What is that? That is, everything in this nature must go or undergo changes. The change is process of life, right? We also have to go changes. The poem represents symbolically. The poem symbolically gives the same idea. Is it clear? Now see, in the poem, the technique of personification. Another important point I am going to share you is the poet has used a technique of personifications. Here, the characters, right? The characters in the poem are leaves and winds. They are personified. They are given the human quality. They are humanitized. Leaves never speak in the real world, right? This is what the qualities of the literary writers. They have a sort of different image in, you see, in their languages. They feel everything is speaking. What Lakshmi Prasad Devkota had said in his poem. If you have not read it once. What he had said there is that stones speak in real world. Have you ever heard stones speaking? No. And here in the poem, the leaves and the winds, they speak. They speak. It means that they are personified. They are given the human qualities, humanized, right? And then now here the basic concept what we have to understand about this point is it is written about the nature. It is written about the natural process, natural happenings of the autumn season, right? Here the persona, the characters in your words, in your language, right? It is very common to use. The characters are wind and leaves. They talk, they speak, and it represents the natural interplay. Okay, now let's go through the stanza of the poem, right? Okay, everyone. See the first stanza, and in one side there is the stanza, and on the other side there is the picture. The picture is about what the stanza says. The stanza says the same thing that is shown in the picture. So what can you see in the picture? The nature, the trees there, right? They have become yellow and brown, and look at the ground, that is all covered by the leaves, right? And this picture represents the scenario of the autumn season. So this is why I already told you, if you have remembered, it is called the fall. Because the leaves fall down, right? And along with the picture there is the question, that is the possible question can be asked from this stanza. Okay, let me go through the stanza first. Come little leaves, said the wind one day. The wind called the leaves to come down and come over the meadows with me and play. These two sentences, right? So the wind called the leaves to come down to the meadows. To the meadows. Meadows means the grassland. Come down to the ground, to the grassland, and put your dress red and gold, right? This is rather symbolic. Put your dress red and gold. When the autumn season, in the autumn season, the leaves they grow older, right? They grow old, and they become ready to fall down. Before falling down, the leaves changes their color. The leaves change their colors into red and yellow, red and gold, right? The changing color of the leaves, right? So you can see the picture too, right? And for the summer is gone, and the days grow cold. Now the summer season has finished. Remember that one thing: summer, autumn, winter. Summer, autumn, winter. During the winter, the snow falls. It becomes very cold. In the autumn season, the leaves fall down. And the summer, it is green everywhere. The leaves are in their young stage, like charming, beautiful, right? So here In this stanza, the wind requested the leaves to come down to the meadows and play with the wind, right? This is the main thing said in the stanza. Okay, now let's go to the next stanza, the second stanza. It is a very short poem, and there are only three stanzas. Okay, three stanzas, and the second is this one. Okay, this is the second stanza, and let's see what it says. Okay, soon the leaves heard wind's loud call. I already told you that uh, the wind and the leaves are the characters. Now the wind called the leaves, and the leaves heard the wind's call, and down they come fluttering and all, one and all, one by one, the leaves fell down. Okay, and over, O apostrophe ER, that is over, right? Now, over the brown field, they danced and flew. It means when the wind blows, uh, the dead leaves, right? The dead leaves that fall from the tree, and they are blown by the wind. That is supposed to be dancing and whirling, right? That is supposed to be dancing. Yet the poet thinks that the leaves are dancing there. They are happy to come down. And singing the soft little song they knew. Here, a poet is rather more imaginative. Uh, it is true that the poem itself is a sort of emotion, a sort of imagination. Uh, this is the last sentence, singing the soft little song they knew. What does the poet want to indicate here is that the sound made by the wind and the sound made when the leaves were fluttering, flagged, right, and bannered, flagged and bannered, moving due to the force of the wind that produces a sort of sound that is here symbolically said a song made by the wind and the leaves. Okay, and this is also not very difficult to understand. And what is how to sum up this stanza is that the leaves heard the wind's call, they come down, right, singing and dancing, producing some sorts of sound. Anyway, we know that they were contented, they were satisfied to come down, and now let's go to the last stanza of the poem, and I think this stanza sums up and mostly the main theme. This stanza carries more theme, more ideas than the first two stanzas. It is rather meaningful, and rather symbolic too. Therefore, let me try to make you understand something else. Okay, what does it say? Dancing and whirling, the little leaves went. Dancing and whirling, the little leaves went. Winter had called them. Right. It is the fall. It has become winter. The season has changed. After autumn comes winter. Now, and they were content. Content means happy and pleased. Okay. And soon, fast asleep on their earthly beds, the snow laid a coverlet over the earth heads. Okay, let me read it once more. It is much symbolic and meaningful too. Dancing and wailing. The little leaves went, the little leaves come down. That describes the fall of the leaves. Okay. Now the next sentence. Winter had called them. It means when the winter comes, before the arrival of the winter, the leaves fall down, and they were content. What does it say? It is quite meaningful, I think. The leaves were satisfied to come down. The leaves were satisfied to come down, to fall down, soon fast asleep on their earthly beds. Fast asleep. Remember that. When the leaves fall down, they are dead. Fast asleep here means dead. They died. It is symbolic. Okay? The leaves died. They are no more living now. Okay? Fast asleep means died. They are lifeless and motionless. On their earthly beds is also meaningful here. Earthly beds means here the earth, the ground, and symbolically it is the grave. The grave. Okay? Symbolically it is earthly bed here is symbolic to the grave. When we die, we are put into the grave, isn't that? And the leaves fell down, they died, they have come for the long sleep now. They have come for the long sleep. They never wake up. They never wake up. You see, fast asleep, they died, and they are put into the graves, and the snow laid a coverlet over their heads. It means the snow, the winter snow, fell upon them, and they were covered. Right? Coverlet means the bed is free. The bed sheet. So the leaves fall in the autumn, the season changed, and the winter covered the leaves, and that has become the end of the life of the leaves. And here, for your better understanding, we can give some symbolic idea. It is a poem, and this can be interpreted, analyzed, and understood or taken in many different ways. You can have a rather different sort of interpretations, but basically what we can assume is that winter in this poem is symbolic to the hardship of life. It is the old age, right? The leaves died. When do we die? When we become old. The leaves changed their color. They were bright and beautiful in summer, and they are changed into yellowish, reddish in the autumn season, and finally almost at the end of the autumn season they fell down. And autumn here, not only the season, winter, they are symbolic. They have some symbolic meaning, right? Winter, hardship, and old age, right? When we become very old, we like to die because we have finished all the objectives and aims. We do not have anything to do. So when the hard times come. Right. If you go to the very old people and ask, what is your wish, grandma? Nani, matlab morna khaye huntyo ba? They say. And the same thing, the leaves very happy to come down. Means they had done everything in their life. Hmm? And there was no more interest of the life then. So it says that it is rather symbolic to understand too. And summer is the favorable time, the young age. We do all the activities, we have aims, objectives, running here and there, being responsible to everyone else, relatives or families, and so on. That is the summertime. And the first asleep, that is the death. Okay, so this is how the poem ends, and the picture aside that represents the winter season. You can see the leaves are on the ground and they are covered by the snow. Okay, this is how the poem ends, and finally let's sum up what we get from the poem. So what did you learn? Did you get some idea? Okay, let me sum up in few sentences about it. The poem talks about how the leaves fall from the trees, and when the wind blows in autumn and gets covered in snow in winter. Okay, and in the poem, the wind talks to the leaves. The wind asks the leaves to come over the meadows and to play and to have fun with them. Okay, the wind also tells the leaves that the summer leaves hear the wind's call and begin to come down to the brown field. The leaves enjoy flying and dancing and singing over the ground with the wind, right? And see, time passes and the winter starts. The leaves lie quietly on their earthly beds, they are dead, and finally the snow covers them. And if you compare this poem with human life, okay, with our life, because the poem is our natural process, right? Life begins and ends. Life changes. When we born, we were very small child. You are the teenagers now. You become adults, and we become old, and we die. This is the natural process of life, and this the same natural process is going to be represented, going to be described by this poem. So this lyrical poem has been formed as a song by different music composers too, and it is popular among the children like you. Okay, everyone, and here the final is the task for you. It is made for your practice, right? There are the two questions. I hope you will attempt this as your home assignment. Thank you.